It was a really gnarly experience. And I think that, even still, none of that comes anywhere close to what those gentlemen were really going through in real life.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on.
This film talks about friendship, survival, and loss. How did you prepare for such an emotionally charged role?
I mean, I talked to Nick. Nick was the lucky one in this scenario in real life. And I was the lucky one that I, as an actor, had a real life counterpart that I could talk to and I could pick his brain and his heart and glean what I could from his experience. These guys were put into a situation that they weren't prepared for. They were not physically prepared. They were not mentally or emotionally prepared. We got thrown into this tank together for 3.5 weeks, shooting mostly nights. It was very cold, very, very, very cold. And again, I was the lucky one in that, part of the reason why Nick survived is because he actually was fully clothed. I mean, his pants and his big jacket that his buddies were making fun of him for, that his mom bought him. These were actually things that ultimately helped him live,
Yeah.
because it provided some type of warmth, like a wetsuit. And because I was fully, clothed, kind of ankles to wrists, I was able to wear a full wetsuit. We were never like in dire danger. I mean, we had medical teams around us and divers, and we were in a tank, not out actually in the ocean. It was absolutely one of the most physically, emotionally, mentally demanding films I've ever been a part of. But we all channeled that into the performances to try to make them as authentic as possible.
And how did you all build that camaraderie and that trust with such a heavy story?
Most of the bonding happened just naturally in the tank. I mean, when you're thrown into that kind of situation and it really is that cold and you're huddling together in the take as scripted, but then also even when you're not shooting, we're wrapping each other up and rubbing each other's arms,
Yeah.
and just pushing through, trusting each other, despite how harrowing and intense and sad, and frustrating and angering even that this movie can be. Knowing that this really happened, and it didn't have to happen if they
Yeah.
just would have cut that anchor and they just could have got home, like all of this tragedy of errors that happens. And still Nick held out hope. He held out hope. He had that, last shred. So I think that's so imperative in life, to hold on to, even if it's just the last little shred. You got to hold on to that last little shred of hope.